Yes, folks, the Wizkids World Championship event took place at Memphis this weekend just gone. As part of the celebrations, Wizkids did their fan appreciation presentation on the Friday night, and that included some juicy Dice Masters spoilers. So let's take a closer look. Yes, hello, welcome. Thank you for sticking around. I'm Chris from the Ministry of Dice, and as I mentioned in the intro there just now, today's video is all about taking a closer look at the Dice Masters Secret Wars set reveals that were shown at the fan appreciation presentation that took place at the Wizkids World Championship event in Memphis, Tennessee this weekend just gone. Whew, what a mouthful. That's right, big weekend for Dice Masters this weekend just gone. Great to see face-to-face Dice Masters taking place. Great to see a competitive meta rebuilding itself in the community. Wonderful of Wizkids to put this on, although they could put it in a location that's easier for us all to travel to, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, and as part of that whole celebration of Wizkidsness that took place over the weekend, they delivered a presentation, a fan appreciation presentation, which took a look at loads of kind of upcoming releases, upcoming stuff that's taking place from the whole catalogue of Wizkids product, but of course we're most interested in the Dice Masters stuff, and in the section where they talked about the new upcoming Dice Masters Secret Wars set, which is currently solicited for December this year, they showed off some new cards. They spoiled some new cards. So let's take a closer look at these cards, have a little bit of a chat, share some of my gut instinct reaction to them and some ideas that I've been thinking about, and just generally, you know, get excited about the new set coming down the pipeline. Okay then, so the first card revealed on the presentation was a full art basic action card. It was Distraction. Now, this is a card that's been around, you know, since day dot. Long-standing players are very familiar with Distraction. The presentation showed a full art version, which is an alt art version of the card. The set's going to include 4 chase full art basic action cards, of which this is one of them. And, you know, the artwork is fun, it's quirky, it's got a lot of energy about it. It definitely demonstrates how the new look, new feel Dice Masters is looking to really focus on that artwork and show off all that great comic book art talent that they got access to. It's also fantastic to see Distraction coming back to the game. As a control player, I'm a massive fan of Distraction for its global, in which you can pay a mask and remove target attacking character die from combat. It's the type of control that I live and die by as a fan of wombo combo and direct damage stuff. You know, it keeps the attack step out of the story, you know, out of the narrative for folks like me. And also, I think the meta needs it right now. Force attack, you know, taunt globals are being used very much as a method of key removal that's making control hard to use because you can't keep your stuff in the field. So it's a welcome global, just broadly speaking, that appeals to control players who like things like direct damage strategies, but it's also much needed right now just to kind of balance things out a little bit across the meta. So great to see a full art card, great to see them showing off this new commitment, demonstrating this new commitment to really focusing on the artwork and thinking about the look and feel of the game, but also fabulous to see Distraction return with that so useful global. Just unbelievably useful. So yeah, very happy to see that one. That was a great reveal that really made me very happy. The next set of reveals on the presentation were both themed around the demon dimension in the Marvel comic universe, Limbo, or sometimes referred to as the other place. Both of these characters, Madeline Pryor and Magic, are involved in Limbo and the demon dimension in one way or another. Madeline Pryor specifically in the Secret Wars storyline, in the Secret Wars story arc that this set is built around. Magic kind of more broadly, the main line, the central 616 universe Magic is involved in the demon dimension quite a bit. So nice to see them kind of putting some themey cards into the mix. Let's start by talking a bit more about Madeline Pryor, the Baroness of Limbo. 3-cost mask, her stat line is 124 014 013. Or maybe I should now start reading them the other way around. I'm very used to reading left to right. And again, text reads, while Madeline Pryor is active, your psychic dice get +1 attack. And she also has a global there, pay a mask and 1 life. Once per turn, field a psychic from your use pile. Now, this is a very themey game text, particularly. Madeline Pryor is the Goblin Queen, and in the Secret Wars storyline, she presides over the section of the Limbo realm that is called, I think it's called, like Goblin Town or Goblinville, so I can't quite fully remember. But the sidekick's obviously representative of the goblins that live in her realm. She can summon them up. She can, her presence can inspire them and give them a little bit of a stat bump, so that's quite nice, a little bit of a nod to her role in the Secret Wars wider narrative there. The sidekick making global, obviously useful. We know how powerful sidekick making globals are. This one is questionable because it's got the additional cost of paying a life, which at the moment in the current modern card pool, we've got the Collector from the Infinity Gauntlet set who carries this global, a sidekick making global, without the additional cost of having to pay one life. One wonders whether Wizkids have cottoned onto the power of sidekick making, and that when the next rotation comes around and they cut the cards like the Collector and Batman out of the story. Because I'm hot take, folks. The next rotation is going to start a Secret Wars. I'm sure of it. I'm certain. How can it not? It's the first of the new look, new feel Dice Masters. But anyway, so it's a powerful global. Certainly, having access to it in the draft context has its place for sure, especially if you're buffing them with her game text. But right now in Constructed, obviously folks would lean more towards the Collector or Batman to make their sidekicks, or rare Mr. Sinister. Magic Inferno is another 3-cost mask. Her stat line is 023, 034, 145. Did it the right way around that time. Her game text reads, while magic is active, when you use an action die, place a +1 attack and +1 defense token on her card. She also has the very same sidekick making global, but it's triggered with bolt energy instead of mask energy. So there's obviously something there around how that might synergize with other cards in your team. Now, I'm very keen on this one for a couple of reasons. I like that she's low cost, low fielding cost. In fact, I like them both because they're low cost and low fielding cost. Magic has seen her stats change from the traditional stats we've had on Magic in sets gone by to be a little bit more acknowledging of her a more kind of warrior aspect, her more offensive position in the comics. I mean, she's got a massive big old sword and she kicks ass. But I also like the game text because it's a card you can build around. I like cards that you can use to experiment with and tinker with to try and find great combos. And with the range of basic actions, particularly cheap ones that are 3 cost or less in the modern card pool right now that we know of, I mean, there's more coming down the pipeline with the Secret Wars set. It just gives a good experiment space to play around, what's a good fit in terms of the basic actions, what's going to be good rinse and repeat combo stuff to help you build up those token boosts, stat boosts to her. So, yeah, it's nice, it's fun. It would pair well with a nice board clear if there's anything of that nature coming along in Secret Wars, or with stuff like Anti-Monitor. I don't know. I've not got there yet. I've not fully got to there yet. But I'm certain there's some 2 or 3 cost, or even 1 cost basic actions that would be nice to use, or actions even. It's not restricted to basic actions that would be nice to use to Magic to just build up her offensive strength more and more and more and make her increasingly threatening. And I can definitely see that being used in draft, and I can see that being used in some fun kind of casual builds. So yeah, there you go. There's the Limbo theme pair. The next card to be revealed is a character that we already knew was in the Secret Wars set. We've seen already a couple of the rarities for this individual. It was Invisible Woman, also Dr. Richards, the common rarity of the character. She's a 2-cost mask with a stat line of 012, 023 and 025. Her game text reads, Invisible Woman gets +1 attack for each of your other active Fantastic Four character dice. And she's got the global here, pay a mask, target character die must block this turn. And of course she comes with the Fantastic Four affiliation herself. So, first things first, it's a cheap character, 2-cost mask with no fielding cost at all. It's going to have a place, certainly in things like drafts, for that purpose alone. If you've been, focusing your draft around Fantastic Four characters, you need someone who's a bit low cost, who's also going to benefit, got a bit of Fantastic Four synergy, then you could do a hell of a lot worse than picking up an Invisible Woman card in your draft. Low cost, low fielding cost, gets a bit of a stat bump from all the other Fantastic Four characters, gives you a bit of direction, a bit of purpose around your drafting strategy. But the notable aspect of this card that's going to get more wider attention, certainly for constructed players who like to play more competitively is the global there, the Force Block Global. The fact that it's on a low-cost mass character to begin with is just balmy, because you can just buy all your Invisible Woman dice and fill your bag, roll her on energy, and have masks for days to feed the global. But Force Block is super popular with fans of Overcrush. It's really going to take your big static characters to another level here, because you can now start pairing them up with things like the Overcrush Global on Mr. Sinister, the Psylocke that gives Overcrush when fielded, Overcrush basic actions like Thrown Car, etc., etc. Slap them on teams with your massive stack characters, or like Mary Shazam, for example, or your big Orions or whatever. And then you can Force Block to guarantee that you can rinse and repeat your Overcrush strategy time and time again. No letting it through, just taking the hit and try to catch up. That Overcrush character could be there to stay. So really powerful global. We've definitely seen the impact that a Force Block global can have on the meta in the past. This could serve to raise a few cards that are sort of languishing just outside the higher point of the meta, a little bit higher in that hierarchy for sure. And so she's going to see play in draft, I think, for Fantastic Four teams, but she's going to see play in Constructed because she's a nice cheap character that brings a super useful global. Fun one next from the presentation. Very pleased to see this reveal. Notable for two reasons. The first is that it's the first public reveal of a new card type, Epic Basic Actions, but then also notable because the game text just seems super fun and curious to me. It was the Darkhold. Here it is on screen for you. So it's 5 cost Epic Basic Action, and its game text reads, pay X life, draw and roll X dice. Now, a couple of things, if you just to get you caught up, if you weren't aware, Epic Basic Actions are a new type of basic action that are coming into the game in the Secret Wars set. And they have a few kind of extra rules attached to them. So Epic Basic Actions, you can only buy or use one in a turn. The Epic Basic Action can only be played if you've got a character of 4 cost or higher in the field, and after its use, the dice goes back to the card. It doesn't go into your used or your prep or whatever. So there's some extra kind of rules surrounding the use of Epic Basic Actions. This is in thematic acknowledgement of the fact that these are kind of, epic artifacts from the Marvel comic book universe, and this is a great example of that, the Darkhold. And the game text is just really notable and super fun as well. Pay X life and draw and roll X dice. Just seems fun. And the pursuit of that achievement unlocked moment where you're able to chain a massive set of events and trigger a load of dice or field a load of stuff or whatever, that moment of achievement unlocked where you get it all done, I think is just going to be super fun to pursue. Life's a resource, as we say in the game, and so paying life to draw dice, if it's the right moment for you, could really just swing a game in your favour or even give you the winning manoeuvre. I look forward to seeing these kind of do or die moments where people pay a big chunk of life to draw their whole bag, maybe go right the way through to the use pile and draw through what they've just purchased to then try and roll it and use it in the same turn as you've used the Darkhold. You know what I mean? So say you've got 6 dice in your use pile, empty bag, fire off your Darkhold, pay 6 life, draw it all through, and just access what you've just purchased straight away. And then to do the roll and to land it all and to just get an epic, pun intended, epic chain of events on the go, I think it's just going to be super fun. Is it competitive? No, probably not. It's a 5 cost basic action. 5 cost ramp basic actions are challenging, but I know for facts that some of you folks out there will be mathing it out, looking for just some really super fun, crazy maneuvers. I just can't wait to see what people come up with on this one, because, in theory, you could, if you've got 19 dice to draw, then you could pay 19 life and roll it all, you know what I mean, in theory. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing what kind of fun, crazy combos people can come up with on that one. To go for that, just that moment, where you just step away from the table like, yes, I did it, and see how many times you fail it as well. Yeah, so super fun. I think that one's going to have a place in the wider casual meta as just a puzzle. A puzzle to crack, and that seems really fun and exciting to me. It's something you can use to build your team around. Another new character reveal next. This was God Emperor Doom. We've not seen one of these in any rarity up till this date. This is the rare with the subtitle Rabum Alal. 6-cost shield with a stat line of 135, 256, and 267, and a game text that reads, while God Emperor Doom is active, at the start of the attack step, target character dies, attack becomes 0 until the end of turn. Loving this. I mean, obviously, God Emperor Doom is a central character to the whole Secret Wars narrative that this set is themed around, so we were undoubtedly going to see a Dr. Doom, a God Emperor Doom version of the character in this set. The artwork there is taken straight out of a key kind of splash page in the miniseries, the central miniseries to the Secret Wars event storyline, so that's great. And the subtitle's a nice thematic nod as well. It means... Oh, come on now, I should have checked this before I started recording. It means the Great Destroyer, or the Great Devourer, something along those lines, and it was the name given to him by, very loosely, it's the name that was given to the God Emperor Doom by a cult of Black Swans who worship God Emperor Doom. Very loose description of what that's all about. But onto the character. I mean, obviously, it's a big control piece. It appeals to someone like me greatly to have a nice, big, bit of meaty control of this nature. It says at the start of the attack step, so it's not just your own attack step, it's any attack step, so it's clearly going to help you out in your opponent's turn because you can make a character not attack at the start of their go. So if they're using a big beat stick, it might be extremely useful to have this guy hanging around. He's expensive. He's a 6-cost. He's got 2 fielding costs on level 2 and level 3, so you're going to have to reach for him if you need him, but I could see him certainly having a place where he can step in and deal with a big beat stick that's getting up in your face. Just a shame that, you know, the journey to getting him is so expensive and kind of moving away from your own win con a little bit, but that seems to be the case with control right now in the game. Well, it's kind of always been the case in some respects. But still, a really interesting game text. Definitely one that could help out in a pinch. Whether it'll see much play in Constructed with that 6 cost and those 2 fielding costs, with perhaps more broadly useful game texts on characters like Lilandra and Wonder Woman. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. But certainly one to play around with and experiment with for sure. Okay, so here's an interesting one next, because the character they revealed to us in this next slide in the presentation was Starlord, Starcrossed Lovers. But they didn't just reveal the character, they revealed 2 versions of the card. So Starlord, Starcrossed Lover is the rare version of this character. He's a 4-cost fist. He's got a stat line of 124, 235, and 255. His game text reads, Starlord costs 2 less to purchase and 2 less to field while you have an active Guardians of the Galaxy character die, and he himself is a Guardians of the Galaxy character die. Max 2, which is curious. But then we have this alt art version, which is interesting because when they first announced the Secret Wars set, they announced that textless cards, vanilla cards, were going to get full art versions of the card. But it appears that they are also doing chase alt art versions of texted characters as well. And I have it on good authority that there will be, in addition to the 4 full art basic actions, another 3 full art character cards that will be alt art, full art versions of texted characters, which is interesting. I really like the alt art on that one, actually. It's got quite a bit of personality and character. But what that'll obviously mean is that you need to kind of own both copies of the card, or have a transition zone or sidekick app nearby to make sure people are aware of the game text. Now, in terms of the game text, okay, it's fine. It's all right. I can certainly see that having a place if you're building a Guardians of the Galaxy team. It's nice to have a character that you can buy for 2 and field for nothing with a half-decent stat line. I can see that having a place. What I'm not fully aware of, I've seen a few more cards from the set, and I haven't seen a great deal of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know whether that's a useful one to pick up in draft or not completely now, as to whether you can construct a drafted team around the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not certain of completely at this point. In the wider context of themey play, if you're playing like a golden single affiliation event, then you might consider that you might deem this one quite a useful Starlord. But I don't know, I think there's other Starlords from sets gone by if you're playing golden and you want to build themey teams in golden that would have a better place overall on your team than this one. So fun, interesting, love the full art, alt art version of the card. I think that art looks great and it's going to look really awesome in foil. Hashtag looks awesome in foil. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little underwhelmed by that Starlord reveal, if I'm being perfectly honest. Overall, other than the curious element of the additional chase cards that are going to be in the Secret Wars set. And while we're on the subject of full art alt character cards, the presentation wrapped up with this guy, the Ultimate Spider-Man Life Raft Stowaway. 3-cost bolt, stat line of 133, 143, 254. Got the Avengers affiliation and the Spider Friends affiliation. But that's all we know at this point, other than the fact that it was told at the presentation that this is a texted card. This character, Miles Morales here, has a game text. This is an alt art version of the game texted version of the card, or at least that's what I've had reported to me by my man on the ground, Andy America, the Ministry of Dice's US correspondent. So they finished up with just another example of these chase full art, alt art character cards there, but not much to commentate on really. Yeah, all right. It seems he's fairly low cost, same old fielding cost that we've seen with characters with that dice mold before. Double affiliation, nice. Max 4, woohoo. I don't know what else to say really without a game text other than the painted artwork. Is it painted? I'm not sure, but the artwork is really cool. It's got that idea of having more depth, more dimensions to the artwork that they were calling out in the press release with regards to the new look, new feel Dice Masters is clearly evident in that image there. In fact, it's going back a little bit. It's quite evident in the Starlord version as well, isn't it? So that's really all I've got to say on that one. It's an alt art character card. We haven't seen the text yet, so I can't comment on his gameplay, but looks cool, looks great. It's going to really give some lift to what we're looking at on the map there, isn't it? So there we go. And there we go, folks. That is all the new spoiled cards that were revealed at the Memphis, Tennessee Wizkids World Championship 2022 Fan Appreciation event. I don't know about you, but I'm getting super excited about the Secret Wars set. As I see more stuff, I'm noticing that there seems to be, I don't know, like a vibe to it that I'm appreciating, things you can build around, if that makes kind of sense, like stuff to tinker with. That might not necessarily be like right out the gate, balls to the wall competitive, but I can see, I could have a crack at that, I can also see where there's a nice focus on the drafting experience. That's obviously a big part of what they're promoting with the Secret Wars set, with the new single player starter, the Origin packs, just grab one of each off the shelf and get going kind of thing. So yeah, there's a nice vibe, a kind of team builders vibe. Certainly encouraged to see some control-y stuff making a return. That's nice. Very appeals to control players like me. So that's really cool too. All of those images will be uploaded, or have in fact already been uploaded to the BritRoller6.com unreleased set spoilers page. So if you head to BritRoller6.com, select unreleased set spoilers in the header menu, and then you'll see there's a Secret Wars section in there. That gallery includes all of those. So please do go take a closer look, pore over those. It's also got the new Game Trade magazine spoilers that were revealed over the weekend as well, that kind of got a bit lost in the noise of worlds. So go check those out, the Phoenix Force Cyclops and the Common Franklin Galactus that's in there. But otherwise, thank you so very much for watching. Please do let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on these cards, what stands out to you, what game texts have got your juices flowing, what combos immediately spring to mind for you. In the meantime, I've been Chris, and I'll see you on a Ministry of Dice podcast around these parts on the Ministry of Dice YouTube channel, or over on BritRoller6.com sometime soon. Thanks for watching.